Let us understand the structure of the Travis file and the keywords and then proceed to create one. So it has a set of keywords and it is a YAML file just like Docker Compose. So the first keyword is language and we are setting that to a generic language. Then we are telling Travis that we need Docker service. So we just write Docker under services keyword. Then we tell Travis how to deploy code to AWS. So we write provided as Elastic Beanstalk and region is AP South 1 as we have set that to Mumbai. And then app is my first app. Now the app name is same as what we have created before previously. So this is the app name, my first app, and the environment name is my first app env. So the same things will be used for app and environment keywords correspondingly in the travis.yml file. So the app is my first app and environment is my first app, my first app n. So we just copy it from the Elastic Beanstalk dashboard. Next, we need to access the access key ID and secret access key as configured in IAM of AWS. So if you remember, we have created the access key ID and secret access key and we have downloaded that CSV file. So we shall go to our Travis app, then go to settings and we set the environment variables where we will set the access key and the secret access key so that we are enabling Travis to have the authentication to access Elastic Beanstalk in order to deploy the new versions, whatever it is tracking onto the GitHub branches. So we shall write AWS access key. So this is the environment variable name. And here we will paste the access key we have got from the IAM role we created. So these are the downloaded credentials, right? So we need to copy this. So we can either copy the credentials from the downloaded CSV file or from the IAM management console. So I didn't close this. So if you close it once, you will not be able to access all these things. So I didn't close it previously. So since we have downloaded the CSV file, we can copy it from that also. So for now, I'll just copy it from this. So this is the access key ID. So I'm copying it here and pasting it as the value for this particular environment variable, which we are setting to the my first app repository, which Travis is tracking. So set it here. And we can also authenticate the particular branch or all of the branches of this particular repository, my first app, as tracked in the GitHub. So for now, I'll just make it all branches and add it. Next, we need to set the secret key environment variable also. So AWS secret key. So one note, so we can name these environment variables as anything, but still the same variables should be mentioned in the Travis file also. Okay, so the value, so we shall go to this and show this and copy this using Control and C together and paste it in the value. Then add it. So we have set the environment variables AWS access key and AWS secret key. So the same environment variables are accessed using the variable names. So AWS access key and AWS secret key here. So we provide the credentials by providing the key value pairs in the Travis settings, like the project or the repository project of the Travis. In that settings, we mention the key value pairs, and using those environment variables, we are setting it here. So some places also mention like providing the keys themselves, the access keys themselves in here, but that is not a good practice. It is always a good practice to use the variables, because these are credentials and these need security, right? So we can't just display all the keys here, because anyone who has access to the code, they can access the security credentials, which is not a recommended way. Then we will need to mention the elastic beanstalk bucket. So we have also created the my first app bucket in the S3. So we need to mention that we want to use that particular bucket name, and then inside that particular bucket, we want to create a folder named Docker. Fine. So the code will be stored there. And then we tell Travis that to track the main branch of the GitHub project. So we mentioned the branch main. So whenever any changes are happening to main branch of the repository, Travis tracks them automatically, conducts some tests on that particular branch code, and if they are successful, the deployment happens. So now let us proceed to write the travis.yml file. So create a new file, go to File, New File, save it using Ctrl and S. So make sure that it is inside this project folder, not inside HTML folder. And here the name is .travis.yml. So a dot should be there before Travis also. So its name is .travis.yml. Save it. Now the first keyword is language. We set the language to a generic one. So after colon, give a space, and then generic. Next, services, colon, enter, hyphen, Docker. Then deploy, colon, provider, space, elastic, beanstalk. So make sure that every indentation is right and a space is there after the colon in necessary places and the spellings are correct. Next, region, colon, space, AP, South, 1. Next, app, colon, space, quotation marks, and the name of the app, which is my first app. Next, environment name, my first app n. So you can just copy paste these things from the Elastic Beanstalk dashboard. Next is access key, access underscore key underscore ID, colon, space, dollar AWS underscore access underscore key. So the dollar indicates that that's an environment variable. So this variable's value is what we have defined in the Travis for our repository. Then secret access underscore key, colon, space, AWS underscore secret underscore key. Next, bucket name, colon, space, quotations, my first app bucket. Next, bucket path, colon, space, quotations, Docker. So inside this bucket, we are creating a bucket, and then on. Next, branch, colon space main and save it using Control and S.